Welcome to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast, your guide to future tech trends and innovation in a language you understand. Now, over to your host, Neil Hughes.
Welcome back to another episode of the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. People keep asking me, Neil, how do you manage to record a podcast every day, and why do you do it? The simple reason is I love what I do, and I feel it's so important to get as many voices heard from diverse backgrounds so that we can all learn from each other. So on this show, we've recently spoke with huge companies such as Sony, IBM, Microsoft and Adobe, and yes, influencers such as Guy Kawasaki. But it's also so important to get startups on here and give them the platform that they deserve too. And again, in the last few weeks, we've spoken to people in Switzerland, UK, Munich, US, Russia, Australia about their tech startup stories. And for me, it's that eclectic mix of guests that make this all worthwhile. And as we've mentioned so many times on this show recently, diversity is crucial to everything. Our world is diverse, and I love how together we've created this platform. So I just wanted to take a few moments today to thank you for listening and making it possible. And also, of course, for the guests too. But today, I wanted to introduce Kirk Deis. Kirk is a writer on Forbes, entrepreneur, founder, CEO of a digital marketing agency called Treehouse 51. And he's also built two companies from the ground up, and he's excited to share his experience in business and marketing with us today. And Kirk is also about to launch the Bug Squasher, which is a powerful new project management tool that actually streamlines communications between developers, writers, designers, project leads and clients. And I wanted to find out how it works and what goes on under the hood. But what sets it apart is its simplicity, precision and universality. So buckle up and hold on tight as I beam your ears all the way to California so we can speak with Kirk about the Bug Squasher. So a massive warm welcome to the show, Kirk. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Sure. Thanks for having me, Neil. I really appreciate it. My name's Kirk Deis, and I'm the CEO of two companies, Treehouse 51 and the Bug Squasher. My background, I started off ghostwriting, did writing for motivational speakers, small games, websites, and from there I landed jobs in marketing agencies. Eventually, I went off and I decided to do my own agency. I know a bunch of people in the film industry, a bunch of friends, and I knew a bunch of marketing people. So I thought, hey, wouldn't it be great to create this creative hub where all of us got together and did something together? And so been doing that for a while, and during the process of that, we launched the Bug Squasher. It's been in development for about a little over 10 months now, and we just released it under a month ago.
Man, I thought I span a lot of plates, but I mean, you're a writer on Forbes, entrepreneur, founder, CEO of the digital marketing agency Treehouse 51, and launching another company. I mean, where do you find the time to fit it all in?
It's not as glamorous as it sounds. So I always tell people when I say I'm the CEO and the founder, their eyes widen up and they're like, "Wow, you're on the top." I'm definitely in the trenches with my guys doing the work. The secret that I found for our success is you got to put in the hours. You got to put in the sweat. You got to be okay to change things and try to be better every time. Forbes was a huge opportunity. They reached out to me. They saw something I wrote, I think on LinkedIn or maybe Treehouse 51. They never told me. And they asked me if I wanted to join. And there was this whole process for that. So we said yes because it'd be a great opportunity for SEO. And then it's Forbes.
So you have two companies that you built from the ground up. So I've got to ask, what are the most valuable lessons that you've learned in business and startups along the way?
A couple of lessons that I've learned are expect failure, expect things not to go as planned. There's an old saying, or actually I don't know if this is an old saying. One of my team members always tells me this. His name's Matt. He always says, how do I know what I don't know? And that's what it's like owning a business and running these companies. Things come up where you're like, how did I not know that? And then a big test is how do you deal with those things that happen? Some situations that happen, they're going to make you cry. They're going to cry in the shower. It's going to hurt. And then you got to pick yourself up from that and figure out a path to get out of it.
Now, there will be many people listening on their own tech startup journey, and it's one thing, building that startup and getting it out there, but there's another marketing a startup too. I mean, a lot of people are unprepared for that. So is there any valuable advice you'd give for founders that are tuning in today on the best way of marketing a startup?
I think what people should do is find their voice and own it. I've had a lot of 9-to-5 jobs, and there's somebody who runs that. There's the whole process. There's a way that they market their brand and their company, and you have to follow those rules. One of the perks about being the owner of a company or owning your stuff is saying, hey, this is our voice and this is how we do it. So with us, a big thing is you can go to any marketing agency and you can get any service that you want. We're really no different from anybody else in terms of the deliverables. Everybody is going to give you the same 50 things, the same process roughly. The difference between us is we pride ourselves on making it creative and fun. So that's our voice. When we market like the Bug Squasher, for instance, we have a lot of fun with it. We make silly videos, music videos, rap videos. That's just the path that we're like, this appeals to us.
So I'm glad you mentioned the rap video there, or the funny promo videos you've done, because you have recently released that fun rap promo video. And I'll put that on the show notes just so anyone listening can see what we're talking about. But can you just offer a bit of a background on why you created that?
Yeah, so we made that to increase brand awareness about the Bug Squasher. We were thinking like, okay, everybody's doing marketing. Everybody has their form of marketing, from Facebook to PPC to article creation. All of it requires time, resources, money. So we were thinking like, what could we do that would just really stand out from the competition, from what everybody else is doing, that would create some buzz, and that would be fun. And there's a Target not far from where I live, and we drive by it all the time, me and my wife. And there's this kid there, and he's a rapper, and he's always selling his CDs. And God, I must have seen him like 5 times. And then on the 5th time, I was like, I'm going to hire a rapper. We're going to do a rap video. And my wife thought I was like nuts. And I'm like, no, this is the universe telling me we have to do this. Like,
I love it.
Yeah. So then I told the guys, and the guys were like, are you being serious right now? And I'm like, yeah, we got to do this. So we went on a search. We talked to probably maybe around 30 rappers, and we found one who was just really, really talented. And we just went from there. We made a fun little rap video about the Bug Squasher.
But he wasn't the guy outside of Target. He didn't get the...
Yeah. He wasn't the kid. He wasn't. Sorry, he wasn't the kid.
Oh man, you never listened to the universe at all.
Yeah.
But like you said there, you have launched this latest venture, the Bug Squasher, and it is a powerful new project management tool that streamlines communications between developers, writers, designers, project leads, and clients. But can you tell me more about the story behind the Bug Squasher and what you set out to achieve, and how digital communications has made it much, much easier now to broadcast your voice, but the tools to cope with the influx of messages are sadly lacking?
Let me dissect that question. So what's the Bug Squasher started with, I guess it's a story of love and heartache. We had a client for Treehouse 51, and she was an older lady, maybe like in her 70s or so. And she understood the concept of how to turn on a computer, and that was about it. It was a very difficult relationship. She wasn't very tech savvy, and we were making a website for her. And she sent me an email that was, no joke, it was like 10,000 words, single space. She was very angry. She wasn't happy with how things were going. And within the email, the body of the email, somewhere in the middle, was the issue. And I remember the issue being so small, it was like, change this line of text or something. And I went through the entire email, and I found it was in the middle. I'm like, of course it's in the middle. And so from there, I had to diagnose the issue. I had to say, are you on your phone? Are you on an iPad? Are you on your computer? Are you on like Chrome, Firefox? Of course, she was on Internet Explorer. And there was just all these back and forth messages, and she was frustrated. She was frustrated to begin with, and me asking questions didn't help. She was angry and said, like, why don't you know this stuff already? Why don't you know what I'm already doing? Why do I have to tell you this stuff? And so it hurt. And I had to like tell the guys, like, hey, here's what we're doing. Here's the ticket. Here's what we need to fix. And during the conversation, it just hit me, and I was like, I wish there was a way we could diagnose these problems a lot faster and get all this information from somebody without them having to give it to us. And that's how the Bug Squasher began. I started thinking, like, I wish we could streamline communication where somebody could just take a screenshot, and when they sent me the screenshot, I'd know what browser they were on, what device, what page URL. I'd know if there was any console errors. And then it just started growing there. We were saying, like, well, we can't just stop there. we have a team here, so how can we incorporate the team aspect of it? So from there, it was like, well, I wish I could assign this to Matt, and I wish Matt could create a report. And we just started throwing ideas on it, just making it bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's how the Bug Squasher started up.
So another question I've got to ask for anybody that's listening that are outside of that developer space and maybe sat in the shoes of that lady there who was obviously just frustrated that no one could fix her problem. How do developers typically deal with site bugs now? And then equally the solution that you created with Bug Squasher, what sets that apart from other solutions?
So right now, and what I've done for years, and my guys for years, is when you have a client who has a website, you still deal with text messages, Skype messages, email communication, and we all know like these are channels where communication gets lost. Emails get missed. When a client texts you, you're like, why is he texting me? Why doesn't he email me? So communication is really, really hard, and it's easy to lose track of these issues. So it's almost like it's crazy that we have this ability to make these sites and these apps, but we're still relying on this old technology and these old processes to get projects done. So there are other competitors in the space. Obviously, I love the Bug Squasher, so I'm going to talk about the Bug Squasher, I guess.
Well, am I right in saying as well that it's only one line of code to install the Bug Squasher onto any framework, and handling website changes becomes easier than ever as a result? And for anyone that's curious, can you just talk them through how easy it is just to get up and running with the Bug Squasher?
Yeah, so one of the things that we really pride ourselves on with the Bug Squasher is streamlined communication. So we wanted the setup process to be as easy as possible. After you create an account, you're given a line of code that is significant to only your website, your account. With that line of code, you add it to the header of your website. And it works on WordPress, Wix, Laravel. It works on any framework, any type of website. So once you add it, that's it. You're already set up.
Now, you have been on a fantastic journey. So I'm going to ask you, what is the funniest or most interesting story that happened to you since you started your company? And you've got to beat the rap story. So I'm interested in where you're going to go with this.
One of the most interesting stories, or one of the most interesting things that have come up is, remember how I said, how do you know what you don't know? Yeah. So we are getting people who are asking us for like more features. Like we have people who beta tested the platform. And so one of the things that have come up from that is like, okay, well, what's the next thing with the Bug Squasher? We're always trying to up ourselves. And so one guy who we were talking to was using the Bug Squasher, and he's like, wow, this is really easy. I just click and I can report the bug. And then he talked to me and he's like, it was almost like a challenge. He's like, but can you make it easier? And I was like, can we make it easier? Well, yeah, I could record you. And I said it just as a joke. And then it became a reality where it was like, that's a brilliant idea. So one of the things that we're going to be introducing later on is the ability to hit record, and you'll be able to send a video to your developer on what the bug is, and you'll still be able to gather all that information.
Oh, that's a great idea as well, isn't it? I think that's how we all learn and deal with almost any issue now. It's just easier, isn't it, just to record a quick video on your phone and send it over. You get it straight away. Now, some of the biggest names in business, VC funding, sports and entertainment often listen to this podcast. So if there is one person in the whole world or in the US that you'd love to have a private breakfast, lunch or coffee with, who would that be and why? Let's send this out to the universe too.
Oh, hands down, Elon Musk.
Oh.
I am a huge fan of Elon Musk, of how he's just the Tesla, the SpaceX, PayPal, just all these things that he's doing. I know right now he's not doing so well, and he's not looking very friendly in the news, and he's never really been friendly when people interview him too much. But just the way that he's changing the world, and he's just pioneering, just doing all these different things. I'm just a huge, huge fan. It seems like he's like an alien or something. It's just as unstoppable.
If you think of go big or go home, he's the epitome of that, isn't he, in every sense?
I would not want to have lunch with him. I'd want to be like, hey, can we go on a drive in your Tesla? We can talk there.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody would want to have lunch with him, so we'll put that little spin on it.
Is that with or without the flamethrowers? Are you going to be sat there with the Elon Musk flamethrower?
Yeah, I bet he has some in the trunk. He has to, right?
Yeah. Well, a huge thank you for coming on today. Before I do let you go, could I just ask that you remind the listeners of where they can find you guys online and also contact your team if they have any questions, and equally any social channels like the YouTube channel for your videos there?
Yeah, the easiest way to get a hold of us is actually to visit the website. So you can visit thebugsquasher.com, and on the top right there, just hit contact. And all of that goes to our team. So if you say, hey, I want to talk to Kirk, the guys will be like, Kirk, this is for you. And we're a small team. I'm in the trenches with them, so I do check the email and I do respond, and so do the guys. And also our social links are there on the bottom as well. So you can check out our YouTube channel right there in the footer. And then same with treehouse51.com. If you visit us and you hit that contact form, same deal. It goes to our team, and then we just assign tickets to who it's supposed to be for.
Excellent. Well, I love what you're doing there with technology, and not only are you removing frustration and pain points for users like the lady that you mentioned in that use case there, but it's also that the simplicity and precision behind it and the universal appeal too, because that one line of code that installs it on any framework is a big deal. It just makes life so much easier. But a big thank you for coming on today, sharing your story, and let's stay in touch and hopefully get you back on in another 6 months and see how you're getting on.
Awesome. And then in the meantime, I actually have a promo code for you guys I forgot to mention.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
If you guys use Tech20, capital T, one word, and 20 the number, Tech20, you'll get 20% off.
Fantastic. Well, I'll also add that to the show notes, and wish you the best of luck for the future. So thank you.
Thanks, Neil. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
I love Kirk's story, and he's another one of those guys I could chat to all night about a variety of things. And I love how one line of code installs the bug squasher on any framework, and suddenly handling website changes becomes easier than ever. And anything that eliminates the need for endless email chains has got to be all good by me. And it's also worth highlighting that digital communications has made it much, much easier to broadcast your voice. But the tools to cope with the influx of messages are lacking now. And the result is important messages fall by the wayside. So I salute Kirk for seeking to change all that. But as always, what are your thoughts? You can email me at techblogwriter@outlook.com or tweet me at Neil C. Hughes. But I'm afraid there's another World Cup game about to start, so I'm going to make my excuses and get out of here. So a big thank you for listening, and until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Until next time, remember, technology is best when it brings people together.